Hello everyone, my name is Agnieszka Antczak. I'm a head of consulting in Baltic Power project.
My name is Bennet Moeller. I'm heading the engineering department at Baltic Power. We are closely collaborating and working together with our consulting team and all other team members basically to bring us where we are right now. Being one of the first projects in Poland, developing an offshore wind farm was challenging. It was a pioneering spirit that we had in the team. We tried to gather all experts, the lessons learned from other projects in Europe, but also outside of Europe. We have a big team with a lot of engineering disciplines being present, geotechnical engineers, environmental engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical, and so on.
I will start from the very beginning, from 2012, when we obtained location permit for Baltic Power offshore wind farm. And we as a project decided to refrozen Baltic Power project. We started from environmental studies and we conducted the studies for 1 year on offshore wind farm site on the area of 130 square kilometers. The similar area was for grid connection but offshore part, and we also did environmental studies for onshore part of our project. Sometimes people forget about it, but we also check environmental conditions on onshore part of our project, exactly where we are here now, on onshore export cable route and onshore substation. So based on the environmental studies, we prepared environmental report and we submitted environmental report to the authority, and at the end we've obtained environmental decision.
As Agnieszka just elaborated, the environmental surveys, onshore, offshore, are a really important piece. It's 2 years of investigations on the wind climate offshore on our side to get a feel what are the loads, the wind loads that you also feel in your face when you're at the beach. We needed to understand this. We wanted to understand what are the chemical and physical conditions on our side. So we conducted and took samples from the ground of the soil of our offshore site, on our cable corridor, on our onshore side, to understand, do we have some special conditions here and what are these? Based on these information, we interpreted these. We involved a lot of experts, local experts, foreign experts that have a huge track record in designing offshore wind structures, onshore cables, HDD, horizontal drilling designs, which is all needed to basically produce clean power offshore at one point and then export it to our onshore substation, feed it into the TSO grid, the Polish grid, and then bring it to your socket back home.
Our investment, Baltic Power project, will do not touch the landscape on the beach. That was the requirement coming from the forestry and from the authorities, but that requirements were also inside us, yes. I believe, because we didn't, as a project, as a people who like nature, we have to admit, we did it because we believe that we should do this. That's why we use HDD method of laying cables in those special areas, exactly where we are here.
To build an offshore wind farm, it's always project-specific effort. There is limited environmental criteria or soil conditions or anything that we can copy-paste from one side to another. This is really important to understand. So all the information that Agnieszka with her environmental team, having a lot of survey vessels being offshore, taking all kind of samples, water samples, air temperature measurements, wind measurements, taking these information, moving it into a design that project specifically for the Baltic Power project is suitable for a safe construction and for a safe operation of the wind farm for 30 years is really important. Based on that information, our designers, who also are well known and experienced in offshore wind, created solutions for the foundations, the monopile foundations for the 76 turbines and the 2 OSSs.
For example, we had to omit RECs.
Yes.
We had to omit RECs because we've got some of them on our offshore wind farm site, and based on the Polish regulation, we are not allowed to touch them, just omit.
But we also, of course, want and need to understand the demands and requirements coming from authorities, from the public, from other stakeholders who might have an interest in our project. And this is what we balanced across the last years. And what we have now is the result of that balancing and decision taking. And basically also it's an iterative process that we were looking at. So if a decision turned out to be not the right one, we move back, re-elaborate it, re-engineer it, and then back with a better and optimized solution. All with the target to have a safe and environmental friendly project being built in Poland. To apply for a building permit in Poland, we need to gather a lot of information. We need to obtain our expert opinions to be approved by the relevant and competent authorities. We need to gather and prepare ourselves for discussions and finding solutions together with them. One example is the military who is involved. Another example is the maritime safety, aviation safety also. We need to consider that our turbines, of course, have an impact to the surrounding environment, not only the nature itself, but also vessel traffic, aviations. We applied, for example, also on our structures corrosion protection systems, so we can ensure a lifetime of 30 years that is environmental friendly. We implement equipment on our turbines that is shutting down our turbines when specific birds are being detected next to our wind farm.
We had to conduct environmental monitoring.
Yes.
Pre-construction phase, during construction phase and after operation phase, that we have to prove that we meet all the requirements coming from environmental decisions.
Yes.
So it's not like we received environmental decision and that's it, we built and no one monitor, no one control it.
Exactly. I think, Agnieszka, what is typical in emerging new markets, and offshore wind is new to Poland. A lot of people with the time and developers are developing their project. Authorities are working to bring in the right legislation to give clarity on how to develop the project. But we had to develop this project in parallel to this process where the authorities continue the legislation. And that is possible and has to be done, because only when you develop, there's a need to bring in this legislation. And this is what we also saw here in Poland. And now with almost, or the majority of legislation set, which gives a clear road for any developer, we will see a lot of engagement with authorities when we move forward. Now, with the obtainment of building permits, we are allowed to move forward, and we will move forward. We will order steel, we will order the turbines, we will prepare the vessels, and basically make this project happen by 2026.